Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. So it was a very long time ago that I last made one of these kinds of videos. I think it was like a year ago actually. Hold on, let me look. Yes, it was a year ago I last made one of these. If you don't know, this is a video series that I made where I just talk about anything that I feel like talking about, and in the background there's a video game playing, so you can either choose to listen to this while watching the gameplay, or you can just put this on in the background and like kind of treat it like a podcast, I guess, whatever you prefer. The game I'm playing today is called Good Pizza, Great Pizza, which I know on Steam it does cost a little bit of money. I don't think it's too expensive. However, I got it on App Store a few years ago, and when I got it on the App Store it was free. I don't know if it is anymore, but when I got it, it was for free, so maybe check it out on your phone, it might be free there. And today we are going to be talking about hobbies. I think everybody needs at least one hobby to make you happy and energized. To me, my hobbies are an outlet to enjoy my life, and it gives my time here on Earth some more meaning, I guess. I've always felt a need to express myself in creative ways ever since I was a kid, and the older I get, the more hobbies I've started to pick up on. I've even recently started picking up hobbies I used to have zero patience for. For example, I just recently began reading books because my friend inspired me to. Reading was something I hated as a child since I was so focused on that it took too long to read through an entire book. But now I see it as a moment where I can slow down for a while and just really appreciate what I'm reading. I also started crocheting about a year ago. I haven't made too many projects yet, but it's a nice thing to pick up on from time to time. When I was little, I never really grasped the concept of how to crochet properly, so it was just frustrating if anything. Now it's very calming and rewarding. I've also started loving to take care of plants, both indoor plants but also plants outside, like vegetable plants and herbs, etc, etc. There's something so therapeutic about growing something on your own and getting your hands dirty. It's especially satisfying when you're growing something from scratch that eventually rewards you with something you can snack on. The list of new hobbies go on and on. I made homemade ginger shots to improve my health a few days ago. I started listening to informative podcasts to become more educated just recently. I also get really hooked on working out for a few months, like once a year. The same friend who got me into reading once told me in a joking manner, "How many of the things that you want to start doing do you actually start doing?" And I replied that I usually start doing all of them, continue doing them for like 2 weeks to a couple months, and then just forget about them. Then I remember them a year or so later and start doing them again. And then all of my hobbies just kind of go in that cycle. I guess that's just how I work. Some hobbies I've always had, however, are video games, drawing, and music. Those three things seem to be so rooted into my brain that I never really tire of them, or when I do, I always come back to them. I've also noticed that when I do tire of my hobbies, it's usually because I'm in a tougher time of my life, where my energy is drained and I'm not just doing as well as I usually am. I think it's strange how the things that bring you so much joy just kind of fade away when you're stressed out. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I think everyone needs a hobby. A healthy hobby. Because I'll admit, as much as I like gaming, it can become an obsession where you sit in front of your computer for hours on end, which isn't very good for you. You need some sort of hobby to balance your life, a hobby that inspires you to do better. It sounds a bit like a difficult task, but it doesn't always take a lot. Some people need to go into deep meditation a few days a week to get their life on track. Others just need to sit down and draw once in a while. None of those hobbies are necessarily better than the other, but we all work differently. And what works for one person might not work for someone else. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that a hobby that feels meditative and recharges you is one of the better ways to grow as a person. That's what I think, at least. It gives you time to think through things and reflect, and sticking to those hobbies is crucial when you're feeling down, even if they're not as fun as they used to be. It's a new year, and people are making promises to themselves to do well. So this could be a good time to try something new. It isn't always easy to pick out a hobby, since there's so many to choose from. But I'm sure you have something in mind. I can almost guarantee you're considering at least one thing. Give it a go. Worst case scenario, you'll realize it wasn't really for you. Just remember, a hobby should be fun and make you feel at peace while challenging you at a nice pace at the same time. It might feel overwhelming to pick up a new hobby, and it sometimes make you feel stupid when you're not good at something at first. But try to let go of those expectations and just enjoy yourself. At the end of the day, we live once, and I say that taking care of yourself by doing something you love is a pretty great way to live.